Have you ever noticed that almost every spiritual journey begins the same way? Not with peace, not with clarity, but with something falling apart. A relationship ends, a job disappears, a loss changes everything. And suddenly, the life you once knew no longer fits. What if that moment wasn't the end of your story? What if it was the beginning of your awakening? Most people think spiritual awakening starts with meditation, healing practices, or enlightenment. But for many of us, awakening begins with disruption, a moment that shakes you so deeply that you can't go back to living the way you used to. For many people, the catalyst comes in the form of a major life change, a divorce, a breakup, the collapse of a future that you once believed was certain. It can feel like an entire world is unraveling. The plans you made disappear. The identity you built no longer fits. In the moment, it often feels like failure. You might not have called it a spiritual awakening at the time. You may have just thought you were lost, confused, exhausted, questioning everything. Maybe you noticed that things that once excited you no longer did. Conversations felt different. Certain relationships felt heavy. Your old life started to feel strangely unfamiliar. And part of you wondered, why doesn't anything feel the same anymore? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. This is often the moment awareness begins. But with time, many people realize that moment wasn't the end of their life. It was the beginning of their inward journey. Almost everyone can point to a catalyst moment. Maybe yours was losing a relationship, losing a job, burnout, betrayal, illness, or a significant loss that changed how you saw life. These moments feel like destruction, but spiritually, they function as interruptions. Life interrupts the version of you that was surviving instead of truly living. Because awakening rarely begins when life is comfortable. It begins when the illusion stops working. There's something important that isn't talked about enough. Awakening often starts when your coping mechanisms fail. The relationship that validated you ends. The career that defined you collapses. The roles you played no longer feel authentic. And you're left with one powerful question. Who am I without this? That question can feel terrifying, but it's also sacred because for the first time, you stop searching outside yourself for answers. You begin turning inward. After the catalyst comes what many people experience as the unraveling. Old patterns feel unbearable. Certain relationships begin to shift. Your priorities change. You may feel lost, disconnected, or emotionally raw. Many people believe something is wrong with them during this phase. But nothing is wrong. You are shedding an identity that was built for survival, not authenticity. And shedding always feels uncomfortable. When people look back on their awakening years later, they often realize something profound. The event that broke them also woke them up. Your catalyst isn't punishment, it's redirection. It removes what you have outgrown so you can discover who you are becoming. The ending wasn't just an ending, it was a doorway into awareness, healing, and truth. If you are in this season right now, you may feel uncertain. You may be questioning everything, your relationships, your purpose, even yourself. And I want you to hear this clearly. You are not lost. You are between identities. You are leaving who you had to be and discovering who you actually are. Almost every spiritual journey begins with a moment we never would have chosen. Yet many of us later realize it was the moment that finally chose us. So if your life feels like it has fallen apart, or you're standing in the aftermath of something painful, maybe this isn't your breakdown. Maybe this is your awakening. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to reflect. What was your catalyst moment? You are not alone on this journey. And sometimes sharing our stories is how we help others realize they are awakening too. Thank you for taking the time to connect to my content. Always remember, you are